My next video is going to be of a NES game. Just make sure I pronounce that properly. NES. The game I'm going to play is The Incredible Crash Dummies. And just ignore the fact that this is an LJN game, because this game's not that bad actually. And it is definitely going to work first time. Trust me on that. I can absolutely guarantee it will work if I just record the footage before I record the intro. So here we go. I'm going to let this play because this is, for a NES game, this is a really good intro actually. I don't know why they insisted on using that dark yellow though. Sometimes the colour choices on NES games are a little bit weird. Like, you know, dark browns and greys. And it's perfectly capable of showing better colours than that. I'm sorry that I'm talking over the music here, but I suppose I could always upload the music separately. Music is very good in this game. It was written, as far as I know, by Tim Follin and his brother Mike Follin. I think these must have been some line of toys and a cartoon at some point. This is definitely a license. When you play, you'll alternate between these two guys. One of them has slightly different controls to the other. So let's go straight into level 1. You've got a choice of weapons. You can use that kind of stun smoke thingy. I don't know what it's supposed to be. But you can also pick up oil, which will act as a projectile, and then you can actually kill the enemies. It's a little bit tricky. You can't jump unless you're touching the floor, and you do bounce when you land and go over ramps and stuff. But if you just take it slowly, it's not that difficult. Take it slowly and just be careful about when you jump, then you should be absolutely fine. There's a few power-ups in this level. I don't really know what most of them do. And I don't have an instruction manual to look at because, as is the case with a lot of old Nintendo cartridges, it's just a cartridge. It didn't come with the instructions. There are some little weird quirks to this. When you get hit, sometimes you get knocked backwards. But because you've got a wheel instead of legs, you get knocked back really, really far. And there is a situation where you can lose your head. I don't really know what triggers it, but if you lose your head, your controls reverse. And there's also a power-up that makes you just constantly go, which is not really a power-up, it's a bit of a hindrance if anything. But you know what, I quite like this game. This is the sort of game that the NES could do in its sleep, really. I mean, you can see they're a little bit economical with the graphics there by having quite a lot of black. But these levels are quite big. I was playing this for 25 minutes or so, and I only got as far as level 3, although part of that was just down to my own bad gameplay. Yeah, so this power up here, it looked like a rocket or something, didn't it? And it does nothing but cause me trouble. I'm not allowed to stop. And now I've picked up a balloon. I don't think I'd call them power-ups, really. Admittedly, I don't do quite as well as I should have done, and I fall down here quite a lot. Oh god, look how far back you get knocked. What I'll do is I'll stop speaking for a little bit just so you can appreciate the music. I spend far too long on the first level. Alright, I don't know why I picked up that again. And my head fell off. So I don't have a head and I can't stop. So it seems to me like the power-ups in this are a punishment. I do beat level 1, by the way. And I've played this game before. This isn't the first time, and usually when I do a video it's not a game for the first time. I just need it to be competent gameplay of a game that I know how to play. But it takes me a lot longer than it's ever done before. It's not that difficult, but I am right near the end of the first level. There we go, not too difficult. And yeah, you get little cutscenes between levels as well. This is, technically speaking, an LJN game. But that doesn't really mean that it's a bad game. Not that I'd judge a game based solely on that. But presentation in this game is really good. But I think this is I say this quite a lot in my videos. I choose games that were released late on in the life of the system that I'm doing the game on. I don't actually choose that, but that just seems to be the way it is. And this is a very late NES game. I think it's from 1993. But it was released in America in 1994, and I suppose that coincides with when these toys were released. Now this level, this is a very long level, and it's actually easier than the first level, I find. Once you pick up that oil, the enemies are really quite simple to deal with. These levels are really, really long. I don't know how many of them there are in this game. It wasn't very long after this that people stopped making games for 8-bit systems. But to be honest with you, it could have carried on making games like this. It's not exactly taxing on the hardware, is it? I don't like this music as much as the level 1 music. Yeah, I quite like this. It's a little bit repetitive, I suppose, but you know, when you have every game ever made to compare, then the vast majority of games that you play are not going to stand up to the best of the best. I think I paid £15 for the cartridge of this, which is an alright price. Sometimes Nintendo cartridges are really expensive for some reason. Now the level changes up a little bit here. Now I've got to say, I do have memories of the incredible Crash Dummies games from when they were first reviewed on TV, and it must have been some TV program that was on in the UK. So I don't know if it was Games Master or Bad Influence or of one of those sorts of shows. But I do remember them showing footage of something, but it wasn't this game. And it turns out that this was released on quite a lot of different machines, but they're different from this one. So it looks like the Mega Drive and the Amiga versions are fairly similar. There's a Super Nintendo one. There is one for the Game Boy, and there's one for the Master System and Game Gear. The memories I have are of the Master System one, so that must have been the one they promoted most at the time. And that's just like a loop of a couple of different mini games, starting off with a parachute jump without a parachute. So a jump, I guess, down a building where you have to damage yourself as much as possible. Alright, so this is a boss. Alright, so this is the first boss, isn't it? And he's just standing there throwing tyres at you. I don't think that was particularly difficult to program. Be careful, because you do die if you touch that water. The first time I recorded footage of this, I got a game over. Right, now to rescue my dog. Apparently there's a crash test dummy dog. I do quite like the effort they put into these in between level sections. This is a completely different area, but the gimmicks don't really change very much. They don't really fill in the whole screen. It's very, very black. So I guess this takes place inside a circus tent, complete with parachuting bombs and elephants. So as for the game, I enjoyed it more than I thought, because I remember watching a video on an old channel on YouTube years and years ago. It was called Super Game Challenge, and they did a video of this game. The impression I came away with after watching that video was that the game's just another one of those rubbish licenses. It's not really worth bothering with. But I took a chance, I bought a copy when I saw it, and I do actually quite enjoy playing this game. So it's a solid platformer. But this is where I'm going to stop the video. I just could not figure out a way to get any further than this. And to be honest, I think I had enough footage at this point. But how do you get over that jump? Or is there a different way of making progress? So there you have it, that's the incredible crash test dummies.